Her Tony-winning performance as a pill-addicted mom in Next to Normal still resonates with anyone who was lucky enough to have seen it. She also memorably appeared on Broadway in Sunset Boulevard, The Rocky Horror Show, Les Miserables, and of course, Sideshow. Next on her resume is the new off-Broadway play, Wild Animals You Should Know. Please welcome, curled up on my couch, Alice Ripley. Hi.
The chair was made to curl up on, I think, because look how big it is. I got in trouble yesterday on the subway because I tried to sit down. And the lady was like, you think there's enough room here for a seat? And I said, yes, there is. And I sat down, and she gave me a look. I mean, I cannot believe the look she gave me. I haven't been able to get it out of my head since I saw it.
Like you squeezed in between two people?
Yeah.
There's a seat
She
there.
gave me this look like she was going to spit up on me. So I got up, I said, I don't need this bull roar. And I got up and moved down. So anyway, it's nice to have a place to sit. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that you were given more than a
extra
subways.
wide seat.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you're comfortable.
For my extra wide seat.
So, welcome back. I mean, you were gone for a while on doing Next to Normal, taking Next to Normal from city to city. So you've been back, I guess, in town for a few months.
Yeah, I got back on August 1st and I started a job on August 2nd.
Wow.
You know, now I'm really glad that I did it, but at the time I forced myself to do this because I thought I wanted a break, you know. Turns out it was good that I just kept working though.
So we're going to come back to Next to Normal because it's a topic you can't avoid because it is an unforgettable part of your career now. But Wild Animals You Should Know is the play that you're currently in rehearsals for. You start performances next week. Tell me about it. What is this? It's a brand new play, never been produced before. So tell me about it.
It's about a suburban family in Texas and their friends and how they all get involved with Boy Scouts.
Right.
It's part of the community, you know, real important part of the community spirit. And one of the kids, the guy who plays my son, Jay, he's Matthew, that's my son.
Right.
He's the one who causes all the trouble. So when they go out for a camping trip into the woods, Matthew causes some trouble. And then, you know, the family has to deal with it after that.
So what caught your eye about this script? What did you like about it?
My character's name is Marcia, and Patrick Breen plays my husband,
right.
And his name is Walter. And we have 2 scenes together where it's just the 2 of us, and there was something about, well, in particular, those scenes, I was interested in the play because of how they related to each other. They reminded me of Martha and George.
Virginia Woolf.
The way that they related to each other, and there's an underlying affection and loyalty there, but it's not necessarily balanced. It might be a little twisted. And that's one of my favorite scripts, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, so that drew me in right away.
Is that something you'd like to do someday, play
Yeah,
Martha?
I would.
Yeah?
I think that it's one of the great American scripts and plays, I guess. And the characters are, well, I know that I've always wanted to play Martha, so I just have to wait till I'm old enough.
Right.
Until then, I'll just keep reading the play.
Something
I'm trying to memorize the whole play.
You're going to memorize it now? You're going to be ready?
Well, I am memorizing it right now, and I say all the characters. They talk to each other.
You're
memorizing
all the
characters.
All of Virginia Woolf?
Yeah. There's 3 acts. It's pretty long.
Wait, you're just memorizing it just for the hell of it?
Yeah.
On the side?
Well, it happens when you read it a lot. When you read something, you start to memorize it whether you want to or not. So
maybe you can do a one-woman version first.
One of the things I do to keep myself from going, you know, overboard with despair and longing of just being alive.
See, that's what I love about Alice Ripley. I love how you say things like that.
Well, I mean, you know, you say it with a smile, but it is true, isn't it?
The pressures of life.
Well, yeah, I mean, life definitely is a lot of work.
Right.
But it should be work that brings you joy. So when you're a creative person, like we all are, everybody in this room, you have to make your own work sometimes because it's not as cut and dried as you'd like it to be. And this is part of what I do. What I do is, you know, I'll read plays, and if I really like a play, I'll read it a lot. And then with Virginia Woolf, I just started memorizing it, and I started reading the play out loud as a vocal exercise. I was working on my voice at the time, and it was just interesting to hear the characters talk to each other just through me. Like I was saying all the characters, all of their lines to each other. So maybe someday I'll do the whole thing.
I would be there in the front row. Why not?
I can read through the first act, but I mean, I think I've only memorized like one page or something.
Well, it's a start.
Yeah.
So back to the other character inspired by maybe perhaps Martha and Virginia Woolf. You say it reminds you of her a little
Right, we're
bit.
going back to wild animals now. Yeah, the scenes between Marcia and Walter reminded me of Martha
Yeah.
and George, and so, you know, I really I scoured the play then, and I read it many times.
I feel like I should help sell tickets to the show by pointing out that the first scene of the play is two Boy Scouts like getting it on. But I mean,
Yeah, well,
there's that too.
They are. They're both Boy Scouts, and they're one of them is slowly undressing.
See, we're selling tickets. See that the tickets are flying out. See Alice Ripley and this.
From a Boy Scout uniform, he's slowly undressing. I think that I can
You
give
don't
that
see
much
that all
away
the
without
time.
getting fired. No, not really. And the Gideon and Jay play those two kids, and Jay, you know, they're both wonderful. They're really totally watchable. I think the audience will really enjoy the show when they come. It's funny, and it's got some moments that give you pause as well.
Mm-hmm. Many people, I'm sure, who are watching this saw you as Diana in Xtranormal, which is one of my favorite performances I've ever seen. So thrilled to see you do it and to see all of that happen to you. Do you feel like you found your Hello Dolly, your funny girl? Like this is the role that's now going to follow you for the rest of your career?
Well, there is something about the role that seems iconic.
Yeah.
In the canon of musical theater works that have been written and celebrated. And I think that's what's recognized. I think that I was so glad when we were recognized by, you know, the Tony Committee, by the Pulitzer Board or whatever their title is, because, well, that showed me that they saw as what I saw, which was that the role in the family and the story too, but the role of Diana is it's something that needs to have a spotlight on it.
Right, right.
And for always, just have a spotlight on it so that you can see that this happened. And those shows that you mentioned, they have that too for those roles. Yeah, I do have that feeling that I often have had in this business, where you go, well, that was pretty much as good as it, you know, that's it. What could be better than that, really? Or
so is that terrifying? Like, well, what now?
Well, not any more terrifying than any day, because, you know, like I said, you have to create your own work when you're a creative artist, and sometimes it's a blank page and you don't know what to do, and there is nothing that you can do. That's kind of scary, yeah. But I've learned over the years, as I've been working in this business and working in New York, that the day ends and the next day begins. And it's always a chance to start something new. If you want to learn how to juggle, if you want to learn how, you know, gymnastics, or like pick up a new instrument, if you do it every day in 20 years,
memorize Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
I mean, it's possible. I'll be 99 and I'll be playing all the roles, and when these people will be flocking to that, you know.
So you spent the first half of this year doing Xtranormal on the road. How was that? How was that doing the tour and going from city to city?
Torturous is the first word that comes into my
Yeah.
head, just because the experience of playing Diana was it was a storm.
Huh.
And in order to get here, you got to go through this. So this was like the moment. This part, the getting there, that was the torture, and it was just the process of doing the show.
So it kept.
every day.
So even though you had done it on Broadway, you won a Tony. You obviously kept doing it for a long time after the Tony. So it still is always that torturous. It doesn't just get easy. Well, now this is what I'm doing every night.
You've seen it in many different stages, so
Right.
you've seen how it's changed and improved. Probably, I think it's only improved over the course of since I've been involved with it. The show.
Yeah.
And I would probably say my performance too. The thing is, you know, I'm a human, so 5-show weekends and 1 week cities, 1 weekers in a row where you travel on your day off.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get sick, you're going to be out, you're going to sound less than perfect. And that's hard to deal with because every artist is a perfectionist and you're never satisfied. So you have to, it's taken me years to mature into somebody who can just say, before I do damage, I'm out today.
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
But it's hard to be out because, you know, you don't want anybody else doing your thing.
Right. Right.
The thing is that, you know, every show I was emptying out my soul.
Yeah.
I was grieving in front of the audience.
You know, not every actor does that.
Some days were better than others.
So you don't just
Definitely.
coast by, and you don't ever say like, this week I'm just gonna mark it. I'm gonna mark Diana.
Well, I just don't know how you could.
Right.
I couldn't even mark this interview. Like, I don't know how you could do that because when you're on stage, or if you're in front of the camera, there's a heightened awareness
Right.
of the audience, and so that's your job. Your job is to remain streamlined and just tell the story and get through it. And you know, Lewis Hobson, who played the doctors on Broadway, he and I used to talk about how in Xtranormal, if you could jump off at the right point at the beginning, then you could just be the bouncing ball. You could just bounce along with it. But if you tried to force it,
Right.
or you weren't up to speed, you know, it was very delicate, the tone of the show at the beginning. At the beginning of the show of Xtranormal, and it took us months and months and months to get it right, the tone, because it's a cross between Family Guy and Long Day's Journey into Night.
Right. That's
You know,
funny. I never heard it compared.
It is that,
yeah.
and that's Brian Yorkie. He is a walking version of a cross between Long Day's Journey Night and Family Guy.
Before Xtranormal, you were in LA, and we all missed you terribly. And it was like, oh, Alice Ripley lives in LA now. She's not on Broadway.
Oh, I'm glad you
It was
missed me.
it was like the dark years of Broadway.
I missed New York a lot too.
Did you move to LA because you were fed up with the business, or you just wanted a break, or
Well, I
you were
really
looking
moved
to connect to
because
something?
there was this hiatus that was being forced upon me by the universe. Like suddenly there weren't any roles that I was right for. Everything I was auditioning for was being cast. The people that were being cast were 10 years younger than me.
Because you were between the ingenue and the mom?
Well, maybe.
Is that what it is?
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe the mom, like Diana, wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
The mom wasn't there.
Yeah.
Out there for me to then
Right.
be a part of this production, you know, this script or this show or this score or whatever, this idea. So I would like to think that Xtranormal is the beginning of a new kind of rush of roles.
I hope so.
Complicated roles for women. And that would be, you know, that would be great because that means that I would be able
Then
to
you
come
could do
back
them
and
all.
do something else. But until then, I'll wait for the revival of Sunset Boulevard, right? Okay, Norma Desmond.
Well,
Have to get
that'd
a
be
little,
fun
just a
too.
little bit older. Just a little bit older.
We'll get to that. That'll be right before you do Virginia Woolf.
I could wear one of those things on my head and look good. I could wear a turban. Don't you think?
With those, especially with those feather earrings, that'd be amazing.
Well,
That's
you know,
now that's a
99
look.
cents, you can't beat it. Purple is a neutral that's good to mix in.
Would it be? Would you do an eye roll inside if I asked you about your Tonis speech? Is that like such a
No.
boring topic?
Not at all.
Because people obviously still talk about your Tonis speech.
No, I talked to you right after I won my Tony.
I know. I talked to you that night. But you know, then after that, everybody started saying like, "Why was Alice Ripley yelling at us?"
I know, I remember that. That cracked me up because I remember thinking, it's not about you. Right. When did you suddenly become a part of my Tony?
I
like-
loved it. I
can
was
tell you
completely
exactly
with you
why.
the entire speech. I got
First
it.
of all, I do have a loud voice. I mean, ever since I was a kid, my dad's like, Alice, decibels down from the front room, you know. Well, first of all, Ellen John was sitting right here. I could have picked lint out of his ear if he'd had somebody, didn't. He was sitting right here. And I was in the third row, and Kristen Chenoweth was up there speaking. And I was just enjoying her face and the sparkle in her eyes that everybody always enjoys. And I couldn't hear what she was saying. I was 3 rows away from her, and I couldn't hear what she was saying because everybody around me was talking. So
Because the audio in the room is weird.
annoyed. So I was like, how come I can't even hear her? I was going crazy in my head. So then when David Hyde Pierce said, Alice Ripley, I got up there and I was like, I got to make sure that people can hear me.
Right.
So I started projecting because I couldn't hear myself. You know, you don't.
Right, it's weird.
You don't hear anything that comes through that little microphone. Anyway, you know, I thought it was kind of funny because I am loud, and it's like, that's me. You know, all caps. I mean, why deny it?
You tweet in all caps. You are all caps.
Why deny it, right? Just make it what you are, which is what I am. And it's kind of funny that, you know, that I got really emotional. I started to get really emotional in my speech. And I didn't want to because I cry so much in the show.
Yeah.
That I wanted to be light, actually, but I did it on the fly. And right before I walked up there, in my bag I had several little things that people had given me. And I was looking at them, and one of them was a picture of that quote on the Kennedy Center, on the wall of the Kennedy Center. And so I decided to read it because...
Wait, you literally made that decision on the spot? Yeah. You didn't plan that ahead of time? Wow.
No, and I thought it was my chance to speak from my heart, because I do feel that way. And I agree with JFK that art is the work of the soul, and it's the thing that's that's the thing that makes us human, and it's the thing that helps us survive. Yeah. And also that's what drives me. What drives me is my own creations, my own art, and it drives me, and it also it keeps me alive, literally and figuratively, because, you know, it keeps me focused on something positive.
You're always making art, and in fact, I want to talk to you about August 7th, 2009, 10:18 p.m.
What did I do? Oh, was that the Peppermint Twist?
The Peppermint Twist! Oh my God, one of the best videos on YouTube.
I can't believe I knew what you were talking about.
And very talked about video. So there's this video, you started uploading videos.
The videos are, like, they go along with what we're saying, because it's the same thing. It's just another way of keeping yourself focused on something that you're creating, that's fun, that people are enjoying.
But then everybody watches, this is a video where you're basically, you're like chanting this, what are you doing?
I don't even know what I'm doing.
You're saying,
well, you know that song, the name of the game is the Peppermint Twist.
Yes, but you're like whispering it for a while. And then you say, you put on a little more mascara and all your wishes come true. Yeah. Poetry. But do you see yourself as like a Lee Bowery for our time or something? Like, are you?
It could happen.
But now what's funny about these videos, I love, especially during Xtranormal, you started uploading these videos every once in a while, these hilarious, like it'd be you on Long Island Railroad, right? Coming into work. Or like a photo, you took like gorgeous self-portraits.
My phone is full, I can't fit any more videos. I tried making one yesterday. That's why I haven't made them in a while.
What do you mean, what happened?
I have to get a new phone, because I don't have any memory left.
Well, I will buy you something to make videos. I want more videos.
It has to be an iPhone, though. I mean, seriously, we're having a little commercial moment here, but it's the iPhone camera is key. It's key to what I'm looking for, because there is nothing to adjust, and that's important. It's important to just be able to use what's there. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it doesn't look great, and then you realize what the conditions are, and you shoot for the. But I used to make walking videos where I'd walk to half hour, and I'd spontaneously film everything. So
here's my question. Do you think people take these videos too seriously? Because everyone starts writing
I
like,
hope
well,
they take them really seriously.
Alice Ripley's gone off her rocker. That's what everyone starts to say.
I know, but I mean, you know, what can you do? You can't call everybody and say, "Will you be my friend?" You can't do that. I tried, but you know, the fact that people will come up to me and say that they say don't stop making videos, or they send me a message saying, "I live for your videos because they're meaningless. Thank you." You know, they get it. Yeah. You know, the thing is, Henry Darger, he was this artist that compiled this huge amount of art, and he's in the Folk Art Museum up on 53rd Street. He's not there. His work is there. You know, his art is it's interesting. It's remarkable. But the thing is, there's so much of it. So like, to me, that's when the meaning starts to come out. When I have 400, if I have 300 videos up there, they could all be silly, meaningless videos. But there's something's going to emerge as a bas relief or whatever, some kind of graph is going to emerge as a pattern, and that's interesting to me because that's the bigger picture. I just love to do these spontaneous, they're like little dates that I take myself on, spontaneous wild hairs where, you know, I'll see something that's pretty and I want to capture it. You know, it's like something shiny. That's all it takes.
I think that you've achieved what you're talking about, because I was on your YouTube channel, Ripley the Band, and I just kept clicking from one thing, and there is an overall effect to it all.
Kind of, especially if you know me at all, or you
Yeah.
know me in any
Yeah.
other way, you know, as an audience member, you can start to see it's really just my personality
Right.
coupled with my daily exercises that are really important to me.
Yeah.
You know, some people like to you know, go for their 6-mile run, and I have to get up and practice my guitar in the morning, and for a long time I made those videos, but like I said, the one reason why I haven't made them in a while is because my camera is saying you need to get another
You need the
phone.
iPhone 4S.
You need to get another phone. Yeah, I need another phone. So
You
I'm
need a new
going to go
one.
to the 24-hour Apple store, and I'll be
Right.
there. I'll be there at midnight tonight. So anybody who wants to say hi, just come by, and I'll make a video of all of you. What if people actually showed up? But I don't know when this is going to be aired. That's the only problem.
Well, show up every night at midnight. Alice Ripley will show up one of these nights like magic. We're running out of time, but you filmed a movie recently. Isn't it delicious?
Yeah.
And a pilot for Lifetime called Modern Love, right? And you're Eric Stoltz's
Wife.
but you're like breaking up, or is there something,
Yeah.
something bad happening?
I asked him for a divorce, actually.
You're Kathleen Chalfont's daughter in the movie.
Yeah, and isn't it delicious?
Right. So are they fun? You filmed over the summer, right?
Yes, Kathleen is just, she's a wonderful talent, and her face is so expressive. I think that anything that I did in the movie that works probably is because it was with her. She's just got this face that's so expressive, without really doing much at all.
Well, I can't wait to see both these things and the play, Wild Animals You Should Know, which starts November 3rd at the Lucille Hotel.
Yes, and we open on November 20th. I think it's a really good play. It's a very well-written play, and it's funny, and it's titillating, and it also kind of breaks your heart in certain areas too.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Keep expressing yourself. I want more videos.
Okay.
Come on, you're an artist. You got to keep it going.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. Yeah,
Good.
and I'm serious about getting a phone.
Okay, midnight, every night.
Tonight, midnight, up
So
at the
thank
24-hour
you.
Apple Store by the Plaza.
Thank you so much for coming, Alice. You look beautiful.
Thanks, Paul,
Good to
for
see
having
you.
me.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.